Hello and welcome back to BS Rugby. And Wales survive a big scare against the Fijians to win this one by 38 points to 23 in the end. A scoreline that does flatter Wales, but Wales get a win for the first time in 5 games at the Principality. Here is my review and my reaction to the game. As always, if you do go on to enjoy this review, please do hit the subscribe button down below, leave a like on the video, and let me know your thoughts on this game from a Fijian perspective and from a Welsh perspective in the comments down below. I'll be interacting with you after this video goes live. Well, the game started with some big news for Wales. No Josh Adams, who was meant to play in the centre. He got a knock early on, really, before the game kicked off. And it was Fiji who came out the traps flying, getting an early try through this man, Nakalakaravu. What a finish from him. And Fiji really shown they're coming to play. I thought Vilame Mata at 8 was instrumental in everything good that they did. And he made a lovely break and got into the open space and played a lovely offload to him. And I think for Fiji, they were playing some beautiful stuff and they were well deserving of their early try. And I think the big thing for Wales in that opening 20 minutes was we were trying to spread the ball way too much. It was very much suited to the way that Fiji wanted to play. And we were getting caught out in that. You can't out Fiji. They are physical specimens, but they're incredibly skillful and love it when the game gets loose and gets scrappy. That's what they thrive off. And we were trying to play that way as well. And I think we were a little bit naive in that sense. But the big moment in the game would come. Ryan Elias, of course, got a try from the driving maul, but the biggest moment of the game was the red card to Eroni Sau. And I don't think he can have any complaints about it. He goes in for a tackle on Johnny Williams. It's a good tackle, but then the follow-up is the issue. He leads in with his elbow and takes out Johnny Williams when he's on the floor. Elbow straight to the head. This is it live from the game. You can see from this angle here. And it's a straight red. Originally, the referee was saying it's a yellow card, but the TMO quickly corrected him and showed him why it should be a red. And from then on, it was always going to be very difficult for Fiji to remain in the game and remain competitive. But saying that, they absolutely did, and they played some exquisite stuff. They then would go down to 13 men, though. Albertu Asuri going to the bin for 10 minutes, and that was something they struggled with throughout the game, was their discipline. Wales put them under a lot of pressure at points, and their discipline at the breakdown especially was really concerning for them. Wales would get a try, though, just after that through this man, Kieran Hardy. A scrum for Wales it was, and he managed to peel off the back. And, of course, because Fiji were down to 13 men, he managed to cross over there unopposed. At half-time, then, Wales were leading by 14 points to 13, a very slender lead, and not a great performance whatsoever from Wales. The Fiji would come out in the second half, take the lead through Ben Volavola's penalty, which he got. And he then missed the subsequent penalty, which would have given them quite a bit of a gap. But they did come out of the traps absolutely flying. They got a brilliant score through that man once again, Nukalavu. What a try from him. And honestly, the lovely hands, what it was a kick was sent up. They called for the mark. They decided to take it quickly, tap and go with it. And Nukalavu gets in the corner for Fiji, the captain, getting a brace today. What a finish that was. Ben Volavola, who kicked very well from the boot, added a 2, and Fiji had a 23 points to 14 lead at that point. And at that point, I was seriously concerned because we were playing poorly. Fiji were getting the game the way they wanted. And I was thinking, this is nervy. This is not going to be good for Wales. But Wales decided to change their tactic, tried to change things around by keeping it tight, playing it simple, using the scrum, using the driving maul, which they used to great effect, and Ryan Elias crashing over for his second try of the afternoon from the driving maul. Wales would add a couple of tries later on. The first one through Alex Cuthbert. Really good hands from Wales. The man hasn't played for Wales for 4 years, and he's back in the team, and he actually finishes this try really nicely in the corner to give Wales a 24 points to 23 lead. We had the advantage. We went through the phases, went through the hands, and got in at the corner. The final try for Wales was a little bit of a controversial, not the final one, the second to last one. It was a little bit of a controversial one. It's a Louis Rees-Zammit try. Now, he does a really, really well. Take nothing away from him. He gets the ball. He sees the space and behind, similar to the one against Scotland in the Six Nations. He kicks it over the top. It's bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. He beats the man to it. There's no denying that he's got to the ball first, but on the grounding, has he knocked it on? In my opinion, on our watch along that we did here on the channel, I thought he knocked it on. I was surprised that the try was given. I think the wording of the ref was that he said that the on-field decision is tries for any reason, obviously why I cannot award the try. And it was a tough one to call, but in my opinion, I thought he had knocked it on. I did think there was a knock-on in there. For me, as I said, I think it was a knock-on, but the try was given to give Wales a little bit more of breathing space, 31 points to 23. And to cap it all off, Liam Williams, man of the match on the day, getting a late try. Tompkins makes a lovely break after some good work from Halaholo. And then inside to Liam Williams has a good support line, and he goes over unopposed. So that's how the game unfolded. What are my thoughts on the game? First of all, you've got to credit Fiji. Fiji were absolutely brilliant today. And you think if they'd have kept 15 men on the pitch, would they have won this game? It's quite possible that they would have. For Wales, they worked it out by the end, and the fitness, the fact that Fiji were down to 13 men at different points really came into tell. But it was a very concerning performance. The way that we went about in the opening 20 minutes concerns me. A lot of naivety tactically to try and match Fiji playing the way that they play. We tried it against South Africa last week. It didn't work. We have to have our own identity. This is something that I'm banging on all the time right now about this Welsh team. We have no identity. We have no structure. We don't look like a team that you say, okay, this is how they're going to play. Under Gatland, we played this way. You look at Ireland yesterday, they're physical, they're dominant. They have a way of playing. You look at the All Blacks, they have a way of playing. You look at the Springboks, they have a way of playing. You look at England, they have a way of playing. We seem to lack that identity, and that does concern me a lot in this one. And I think, honestly, if we'd have lost this game, there'd have been a lot of pressure on Wayne Pivac, but we did win it. Positives to talk about for sure. Thomas Williams came off the bench, made a real big impact, sped the game up, which was good to see. Louis Rees-Zammit, that try, although I think it's a knock-on, it is a great try from him, backing himself once again. I thought Halaholo came off the bench, had a real big impact. Once again, was physical, carried the ball well, got over the game line. And a big shout out has to go to Kai Shunza, who got his first cap today. Has only played for Exeter Chiefs 5 times, but he got his Wales cap today. Came in at a really pivotal point in the game. Didn't pull full wrong, wasn't outstanding, but did what was needed of him. So for Fiji, look, tough one to take for them. They played really well today. There were moments in the game where I did believe they were going to go win it, but Wales get the job done. Attention now turns to Australia. And for Fiji, of course, it is disappointment for them. Shout out to Gareth Baber, who will finish his time with Fiji now. The Welshman, of course, has been helping with coaching them and led the Sevens team to glory in the Olympics. So he will now move on to Edinburgh. But for Fiji, they can hold their heads high. They really pushed Wales. A lot to work on for Wales in this week ahead of Australia. It'll be a different type of test, be a tougher test in many senses, and a lot to work on. But there we go. That's my review of the game. If you have enjoyed, please do hit the subscribe button down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. And of course, hit that like button. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon here on BS.